Hello, my name's Lauren and I'm a children's librarian at Cheshire Public Library. Did you know that you can make pizza at home without using any special ingredients or equipment? It's really fun and everyone in the family can help out. This is going to be split into two videos. Today, in the first video, I'm going to show you how to make the dough. I'm going to use some ingredients that are left over from a cheese making video that we posted on our channel, but you don't need to make the cheese to make the pizza. I'll show you some substitutes. So what do you say? Let's get cooking.
To make the pizza dough, you will need flour, salt, instant yeast, which you might have in a packet or a jar, water or whey that's left over from making cheese, and some oil. For equipment, you will need a flat, clean surface to work on, measuring cups and spoons, a mixing spoon, a whisk, and a butter knife, a mixing bowl, and some plastic wrap. Measure out 3 cups of flour and use the dull side of the butter knife to level your cup. I like to use bread flour, but all-purpose flour works too. You can replace up to half of the flour with whole wheat flour. Add 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of yeast and mix it up really well with the whisk. If you happen to be using whole wheat flour, it's easy to tell when everything is mixed up. Now add 1 1/4 cup of room temperature water or whey and a tablespoon of oil. Mix it together with a wooden spoon. When it starts to clump together, scrape it out and turn it onto a work surface and start kneading it. Push the dough with the heels of your hand and fold it, flip it, and turn it until you have a smooth, soft ball of dough. Kneading the dough accomplishes 2 things. We're mixing the ingredients together really well, and we're also helping the dough form long strands of gluten. If your dough is sticking too much to your hands or your work surface, sprinkle on some flour and knead it in. Likewise, if your dough is too dry, sprinkle and knead in more liquid. It's not an exact science, because things like the type of flour you use and even the weather can affect the ratio of wet ingredients to dry ingredients. Go by how it feels. Now, oil your mixing bowl and set the dough back in there. Cover it with plastic wrap so it can stay moist, and let it rise until it doubles in size, which will take between an hour and a half to 3 hours. This too is not an exact science, and it will depend on factors like the temperature of your kitchen and the freshness of your yeast. You can speed up the process by putting your covered bowl in the oven and turning on the oven light. Don't turn on the oven, just the light. We have some time to kill, so let's do a little yeast experiment. Yeast is actually a live organism. It's a single-celled fungus that's laying dormant in the cool, dry environment of its container. It loves warm, moist environments, but most of all, it loves to eat sugars and starches. Let's give it some sugar and some warm water in a jar. The warmth and moistness will awaken it from its dormancy, and it'll spring into action and start to eat the sugar. Every living organism converts their food into energy and byproducts. That's why we have bathrooms. And yeast converts sugar into alcohol and carbon dioxide gas. This process is called fermentation, and it's responsible for the distinct taste and aroma of bread. You can see the bubbles of carbon dioxide forming at the bottom of the jar, and soon you'll see the glove inflating from all the trapped gas. Say hello to my little friends. After about 20 minutes of eating nothing but pure sugar, the yeast is practically bouncing off the walls, much like me after eating too many Reese's Cups. 2 hours have gone by, so let's check on our dough. The yeast has slowly been eating the starches in the flour, and the carbon dioxide bubbles have gotten trapped within the stretchy dough. That's what causes it to rise, and it's why you see little bubbles near the surface of the dough.
At this point, our dough is ready to turn into pizza, but you can also use it to make calzones, focaccia, or garlic knots. When you make your own dough, feel free to experiment with different types of flours. You can also experiment with the amounts of yeast. Less yeast, so half the amount of yeast as I showed you, will give you a longer rising time, but your flavors will also be more complex. Follow along in our next video to learn how to turn the dough into pizza, and follow Cheshire Public Library on social media for more ideas. Thanks for watching!